Talk with Angelo live. Thank you so much for checking us out. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Just kind of tuning in. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll have some tea. Thank you very much. Hot tea. It's a change in the weather, so it's actually getting cold down here in Texas. So I'm drinking tea now. Before I was drinking sodas, now I'm drinking tea. So the weather's changed, and obviously with the change in the weather, I've had to change my drinking habits. I don't know if it's fall's in the air. It's getting colder, and so because of that, I'm sure wherever you are in the country, you're experiencing the colder weather. The holidays are around the corner. You got Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and usually this time of the year, the real estate markets tend to cool off a little bit. Brokers, realtors, lenders kind of go into hibernation to get ready for the holidays. So, but we're still actively, lending and very busy. Good evening, Mary France. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, Kevin. Thank you guys for watching the show and the channel. So, we're still very busy, actively lending, and so, basically, every Thursday we do our Talk with Angelo show. Where we come on live to educate you guys, teach you about real estate loans, finance, answer all your questions related to lending. There's a lot of different rules, regulations, laws with lending. We talk about all the different loan programs that are out there, and et cetera, et cetera. And so, the biggest thing is why we do this channel is to educate you, empower you, give you the information. So that way you can make an informed decision when trying to get a loan, trying to get funding, because a lot of times when you're trying to get a loan, I don't care if it's an SBA loan, it's a conventional loan, an FHA loan. There's a lot of things that people, the layman people, common people, that they're not aware of, and if you don't know these things, it can affect you from qualifying. You could get your loan denied, you could pay a higher interest rate. It could affect your credit score. So we want to make you guys aware, so then that way, you're armed with the knowledge to make, better informed decisions. So that's the purpose of our show and our channel. And like I said, we've been doing this now for the Talk with Angelo live since the beginning of this year. We have a ton of those videos on our archives that you guys can go back and check on our YouTube channel. And then we also do 4 videos live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday that you can watch on our channel. We've shot over 750 videos on our YouTube channel. We've been doing this for over 5 years, and we've been lending actively for nearly 20 years. So we do all different types of loans. We do commercial, we do residential, we do hard money loans, private loans, no-doc loans, bank statement loans, and one of the loan programs we're going to talk about tonight, the non-QM, the bank statement loans, that are catching on a lot of demand. A lot of people, it seems like 50% of our customers are self-employed, and so, which is great. We love that, and we love working with self-employed people. A lot of banks and lenders don't want to mess with self-employed borrowers or investors. We prefer and love helping, the self-employed, and so there is a market, and it's Angelo Christian for self-employed. Good evening, Ishmael. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for checking us out. I don't know where everyone's at in the country right now, but that cold weather's coming. I don't know if you guys can feel it. I certainly can. It started to get a little cold here in Texas, and I'm not used to the cold weather. I like the hot. I like the sun. Oh, you're in California? Oh, Hey, good evening, Angela. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for checking us out. I really appreciate you guys for watching the show and the channel. And remember, you guys can always ask me questions. It's an open forum, so you can ask me questions about things. You can ask me about whatever, credit, loans, how it is to be in the real estate industry, as far as career. Oh, you're in Poland? Wow. Man, you're traveling. Are you doing that for work, Angela? It seems like you're always going somewhere. You're in Jacksonville? Yeah, cold in the morning. Wow. What credit score to get a low rates? I'm slowly... ideally, BJ, oh, you're still in Europe. Wow. Okay, BJ, yeah, you're a truck driver. So ideally, you're going to want, ideally a 700 plus credit score to get the lowest rate is what I recommend. The higher the credit score, the better terms you're going to get. You know, obviously 800 would be preferred, but if you are not able to get to an 800 in a reasonable amount of time, I would say, 700 plus. If you're kind of pressed for time, what some people do is they will close on a loan, like maybe they have a 620 or 640 credit score, and they may pay like a little bit higher interest rate just to have the house and then refinance later once their credit improves. You can look at it that perspective too. You don't have to kind of quote unquote, deny yourself a home because your credit score is not 700, and buy the house at a 600 credit score, pay a little bit higher rate, and then refinance later. People do that all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. It's all based on, I think your perspective and what your situation is. I mean, you may have a family, you may need to get into a house. There was a time in my life where I had to get a home. I couldn't wait. Fortunately, you're at the right place. If anyone can, he can. Yeah, I mean, we try really hard to get it done. We really try, we push. I mean, that's the one thing that I think the biggest, I've been doing this a really long time. The score, do they deep dive and see? They look at everything. Look at the trade lines, BJ, and there's a difference between looking at the credit score, BJ, and looking at the trade lines. So the trade lines is one thing, and the credit scores is two different things when you're looking at a credit report. When you're analyzing a credit report, you're going to be looking at, okay, what's the score? Score matters, okay? And then what are the trade lines? Generally, lenders are looking for at least 3 trade lines on your credit report that have been open for at least 12 months and have at least $1,000 high credit limit. So the magic number is 3 trade lines open for at least 12 months and at least $1,000 balance or higher, high credit limit, okay? So, because they need to see the activity. If you have a bunch of collections, charge-offs, repossessions, judgments, that all is going to go against you. It can go into your debt ratio. It could change the lender's perception of your ability to repay. So you might have a 700 credit score, but if you got a bunch of collections and charge-offs from a long time ago, it could hurt you. It could affect you from your approval. So you got to be careful because you don't want to have that affect your loan. Hey, Angelo, are regular cash deposits okay? They should be okay, cash deposits, as long as you have a pattern of it, Pink Lady. So good to see you back on the show, Pink Lady. So yeah, I mean, cash deposits, they should be fine on the self-employed loan. The thing where you're going to run into a little bit of an issue is if you have lumpy cash deposits, meaning that you deposit, let's say $5,000 1 month, and then you have no deposits for 3 months, and then you come back and you deposit another $5,000. That's not a good thing. What you're looking for is $5,000, $5,000, $4,000, $3,000, $6,000, $4,000, like that. Consecutive boom, 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 boom deposits, right? That's what the underwriter is looking for. If you have weird deposits like $5,000 1 month and then a month later $100,000, that's not going to be good. Oh, absolutely, it's my pleasure. And so I think I have one more. How often do you have clients that are first time? Most of our clients, a lot of our clients are first time buyers actually. So yeah, a lot of our customers are first time buyers that do 0 down. Now the thing is that if you are a first time buyer, and this is an important distinction too. So self-employed non-QM bank statement loans, it's not designed for, I mean, you can be a first-time buyer and get that loan, but it's not like a first-time buyer 0 down grant like FHA or USDA. See, the thing is that if you're doing a first-time buyer FHA or USDA loan, you have to show tax returns, you have to have good credit, you have to have a good debt ratio, and which is fine, and we offer those programs. But a lot of people think, well, I'm self-employed, I'm a truck driver, I own a hair salon, and I can get a 0 down USDA loan. Non-QM loans do show up on your credit. Yes, they do. Think as non-QM, Pink Lady, as a conventional loan. Just think of it as a conventional loan. Just that you're not having to disclose your tax returns to get the loan, but think of the whole loan as just a conventional loan, but you're not having to show your tax returns or show your income, okay? So it's gonna show up on your credit, you're gonna get an inspection, You're going to get an appraisal. You're going to have a loan processor. You're going to have a underwriter. All of these things. Okay. So none of that stuff is going to change. So it's just you're not having to disclose your income. All right. So I mean that's really the and then that's a huge benefit to a lot of people that are self-employed. A lot of people that are self-employed, they write off their income or whatever, and they don't show all their income, which is fine for us because those are the type of loans that we do. Now we do. I have 20K down. Yes, yeah, you could qualify. Now the question, Ishmael, is how much are you trying to qualify for? Like, what's the purchase price of the home? How much do you deposit into your bank account every single month? How much could I get? I would say, Angelo, you could probably get, depending on, I think that you're in Illinois, you could probably get up to about 300,000, Angelo, in Illinois with 60K income. So somewhere around there. The taxes are somewhat higher in Illinois. So 300 to 400. It depends, Ishmael. Are you trying to do a self-employed loan? Are you trying to do a bank statement loan? Oh, in Vegas? So can you show tax returns or you cannot show tax returns? Yeah, you're welcome, Angelo. So I'd have to know if you can show tax returns or not. Okay, if you can show tax returns, yeah, you could buy a $400,000 house in Vegas with 3% down, 3.5% down, 12 to 15K down. So I'm determined. I already spoke to you a few weeks ago. I'll get a house somewhere here in Houston. Awesome. I love it, BJ. Love it, man. So you got to be determined. That's the thing. Oh, and I appreciate you watching our videos. That means a lot to me. So the thing is that, people like you, BJ, that are determined and you're focused, you want to make it happen, you have a goal, you have a plan, you're going to get your house, you're going to get what you want out of life. You have to push. I can't tell you, it's probably one of the most important traits that helped me get out of the hole that I was in with my life, at one time, is, you really have to be solution oriented and do whatever it takes to figure out, what you're trying to do, and you can never give up. I don't care how hard it is or what situation that you're in, there's always a way. There's always a way, always a solution to turn something around. You might be renting right now, you might not be happy with where you're at, you might not be happy with the money you're making or the job that you're at or where you live, but you can change all that stuff. Your past doesn't equal your future. You can always change your future. God gave us that power, and don't ever forget that. A lot of times we get lost in all this stuff that's going on with social media, but you have unlimited power. You can do a lot of things in your life. So, and I want to be the one to tell you that because I'm living testament of that. There was a time in my life where I didn't think I was going to make it. Oh, yeah, you can reach out to me, Ishmael. I'm happy to help you. Reach out to me and give me a call. I'm happy to help you. Just reach out to us, and you can work with me if you don't have to work with one of my. Everyone on my team is an extension of me. So, but I'm happy that I can work with you too. I can help you. Now, I want to say that, we get thousands of people that call us for loans, and I'm only one person. And so I will do the best I can to contact. I have no problem to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you, and I'll do my best. But I have people that have to help me because of how many customers that we have. So I'll talk to you, I'll work with you, and then I'll have a team help you too to kind of work with everything because it's a lot of stuff involved in buying a house. So I can help look at your file, help you to review you for pre-approval. I can give you your pre-approval, but I have to have a team help me too because it's a lot of work. And, it's just like any business, you have to have a team to help you. No one can really do it on their own that I know of that's good. So, yeah, I'm happy to talk with you and work with you. So that's no problem at all. So, anyway, so good questions tonight. I do want to talk about a few things that I have. There's 5 things that, can you purchase a home in Europe? Yes, you can buy a Pink Lady a non-QM loan, duplex. You can go up to a quadplex, up to a 4plex on a non-QM loan. So it can be a single unit, duplex, triplex, or a 4plex. Okay. Europe, yes, you could buy in Europe. The only thing, Okay, well, call me Ishmael tomorrow, 832-431-6331. Give me a call, or I can call you, and happy to help you. So, yes, Angela, you could buy in Europe. The only thing is that we are looking for remote LOs. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, we are. We're always looking for great remote LOs. Always looking for great loan officers, and we can actually have you meet the manager in Miami too. She's really good. So, but yeah, you could buy a home in Europe. The only thing is that if you buy in Europe, the financing is going to change. Now, Europe has different financing than the United States. In Europe, you normally have to put a very large down payment when you're buying your home. So, usually down payments start at 30% in Europe. So it's not the same thing, especially if you're trying to buy in the United States and you're trying to get first-time buyer FHA. A lot of the European nations, they don't have those type of down payment assistance programs. So it's definitely doable, but you may have to put a very large down payment. So I don't want to burst your bubble or affect you. Yeah, you could do it. You could build a house on there and do a construction loan. It's just you may have to put a lot of money out of pocket, and I don't know what your expectations are or what you're trying to do. I mean, I can tell you what's out there and what's available. Funding is available in Europe, but it's just you'd have to put usually a large amount down, and that's really the biggest thing. And normally the European loans are adjustable rate loans; they're not fixed rate loans. That's another thing to be mindful of. But anyway, the 5 things that I wanted to go over tonight, there's 5 things I want to talk about is proof of funds, showing what's acceptable for when you're buying real estate, the type of funds that you can show proof of funds. The second thing is I want to talk about is self-employed loans, which we've kind of already talked about. Yes, Chicago would be much better, I think, because then you can qualify for first-time buyer or closing cost assistance, get a low interest rate, low money down. Chicago's perfect, So the other thing the second thing is self-employed loans. I want to discuss that. You're welcome, Angela. The third thing is closing costs. How to handle closing costs. I've had a lot of customers asking me if you can take a loan out to pay closing costs. When buying real estate, can you use cash money? This question comes up all the time. And then the 5th thing I want to talk about was student loans. So these are the 5 things I wanted to discuss tonight to kind of go over. So the first thing I kind of want to go over is the student loans, because I know a lot of people, including myself, when I went to school, I had to take on student loans. And, the thing about student loans, while they're great, they have low interest rates, low payments, whatever, they can haunt you and they can affect you from getting approved to buy a house. So I know there's a lot of legislation chatter about changing the way student loans are being done with government loans, but those things haven't gone into effect yet. So we have to go off of how student loans are treated right now. And it's important to realize, that student loans, while they seem like they're kind of subdued, there are some loan programs like FHA, for example. If you have a lot of student loan debt, it can affect you from how much you qualify for to buy the house. They extended the student loan until January. Okay. What do they extend though? What exactly did they extend? Do you know? Because not to pay them. Well, you see, let me tell you right now that if you're trying to get an FHA loan, they're not gonna look at that. The underwriter doesn't care about that extension. What they're gonna look at is what is your debt, what's your balance, and then do the 1% multiplier and put that into your debt ratio. Okay. So there are programs that will accept that forbearance, that deferral, which is usually conventional. Well, it depends on the type of loan that you're getting, Angela. Like conventional or non-QM will accept that deferral. but not FHA. FHA is like, no, you got 35,000 in student loan debts. I'm putting 350 into your debt ratio, which is, I agree it's not right. It's kind of screwed up, but it is the way it is. So now you can go into an extended fixed payment plan. You can call Navient or Sally Mae, your provider, and request. Yeah, it's just one of those things about FHA, and I think it's going to change because it doesn't make sense. It's kind of whack, because conventional non-QM, they don't follow that. Though if you have a deferral or you're on income-based payment plan or Obama payment plan, they'll accept that and you're okay. Like if you're paying $2 a month, you just pay that goes into your debt ratio, not a big deal. So I think FHA will definitely change by next year. I just, right now that's how it is. And so the bottom line is if you're trying to do conventional or non-QM, is which I recommend doing. I'm seeing kind of FHA it's crazy too because the realtors don't even want to mess with FHA. Okay? So realtors want to do conventional or non-QM. They don't even want to mess with FHA. I think FHA is kind of slowly wind away, and then more people are going to do non-QM, more people are going to do conventional because the sellers like it, the realtors like it. There's some of the restrictions with FHA with appraisals and student loans are just insane. It makes it too hard to qualify for the loan. Now, I'm a big advocate of FHA. I have nothing against it. I'm just saying that if you can get it at a conventional loan or non-QM, that could potentially be better and make more sense for you because of the BS that sometimes you have to deal with. And again, I'm not knocking FHA. I'm a big advocate and proponent of it. It's just you have to be aware, like the appraisals are usually tougher and realtors don't like to deal with them. You also have the PMI on there for the life of the loan. So that stuff is the drag thing. With the good stuff about FHA, you get a low rate, low money down, favorable on the credit if you don't have the best of credit. So there's good and bad. Make $6K a month. Can I get a loan in another state I'm moving to? Yes, you could if you're an Uber driver. But the thing is, if you're an Uber driver, you have to show the income on your 1099. I'm doing a loan right now for an Uber driver in New Jersey. He makes 100 grand a year. He gave me his 1099, show he makes 100 grand a year. Boom, you can buy a house. Okay? But you got to show the income on your 1099. Now, a lot of Uber drivers, what they do is they make 100 grand a year or whatever, but then they write it all off, and on their tax return shows $1,000. Well, obviously you're not going to be able to get a loan showing that you made $1,000. So we're not going to do a tax return loan. We're going to do a 1099 loan. Just give me your last year 1099. I'll get you approved with your 1099. You see, that loan is better for Uber drivers because Uber drivers, they write everything off. Uber drivers actually make money. A lot of people don't think Uber drivers make money. They actually do. But they write everything off, and I get it. I understand what they're doing, but you could definitely get a loan. Okay? So, I mean, Uber is in high demand depending on where you're at. If you're in a busy city, you're going to make money. So, anyway, going back to student loans, I was unemployed for the last 1.5 years, but previously I was making that much. I've started work the last 2 weeks. I'm starting to make, you're making $2,500 a week. You're starting to stack money, which is good. Now, here's the deal. They're going to go off of your 1099. So I don't know if you're going to be ready this year because you're kind of starting a little late in the game, which is okay. We can look and see where your income is going to be for the year. You may have to do it this year, maybe not. Maybe next year is better for you. And we go through of 2022, you make some money, and then you can buy the house. Because if you're making $6 grand a month, that's $72,000 a year. You can buy a house for about $350,000. Okay, but you're gonna have to show the 1099 showing the $72K. So you may not be there because of where you're at right now because you just started. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on where you're at. So, well, I'm saying if you work through 2022, buy in 2023. Unless you can get I gotta see, there's so many details though. Like I don't know can you get a co-signer? Do you have a spouse? Can you put a big down payment? There's a lot of details that go in it that you could potentially make it work now if you wanted to. But just on the limited information that you're giving me, that would be what I would tell you. So it just depends on what's going on. I have to see. The thing is that a good lender. Oh, spouse doesn't work. I always say, yeah, just call me. Call me at 832-431-633, and I'll talk to you and figure out your situation. See, the thing is that if you guys find a good lender, you always want to have a good doctor in your life, a good spouse, a good lender, a good dentist, a good tax preparer. If you find these 5 things in your life, keep them with you forever, because they're going to help you to succeed. It's your cabinet of success people in your life. For me, I'm your lender, right? I'm going to counsel you, educate you, guide you along the way. A good lender is going to understand your situation. They have to really, really understand what's going on with your life, your situation. And automation online, where do I find them? Yeah, so the thing is that one of the things that I don't like about automation is, like there are some online lenders that it's all automated, and they, you go apply online, you put your information, and then they say you're denied or approved, but do they really understand what's going on with you? I don't like to do loans like that. I like to say, okay, well, let me talk to you, let me figure out what you're doing, what's going on, because so many times there's always ways that you can figure stuff out. I'm not saying that that's the case for everybody, but you'd be surprised, Now, but at least in the end, that you did your due diligence and you left no stones unturned to help that person figure out their situation. And that's a big thing that we do here. We really try to understand you, what's going on with your situation, how do we figure out, how do we get it solved, how do we get you approved? Because, you might be able to have a cosigner, you might be able to put a big down payment. You might have another job. I know people, Uber drivers that have a W-2 job, working in pharmaceuticals, and then they drive Uber at night, and I can use both incomes. There's so many different situations that you have to explore all those possibilities, right? So it just depends on what's going on with the person and their file. So anyway, good stuff though on Uber drivers. I want to make a video on Uber drivers, because I promise you, if you try to get a loan from a bank, they're not gonna mess with it. So commercial office? Yes, good question. So if you're doing a commercial owner-occupied office and the office has cash flow, that cash flow is going to be plugged into the income analysis. Very good question. Yeah, so when you're doing commercial loans, they're done completely different than residential loans, because they're really underwriting the property, the debt service. They're very concerned about the location. A lot. Obviously you matter too, your credit, but really the property and the location. What type of rent does it have coming in? Yes, we can definitely. And then if it's owner occupied, you can get great rates, really low rates. You can qualify for SBA. There's a lot of great loans that you can get if you're doing commercial owner occupied. And that's something we can definitely help you with. If someone has a job offer in another state, do they have to work? No, so that's a good question. We've done a lot of videos about job offers too. So basically, if you have a job offer, let's just say that you're in Texas. It's Jamal. I was wondering if you'd like mortgage a bit. Hey Jamal, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Yeah, I love the mortgage business, man. I've been in it for almost 20 years, bud. So, I live and sleep and eat mortgage and loans. This is what I do on the origination, the primary market, deal making. So I do love it. Yeah. It's, it's a emotional roller coaster. I'm not going to kid you. It's a grind. It's not an easy job by any stretch. But I've been able to manage to build a good team around me, and that helps a lot. You got to have a good team. I don't care what industry you're in, you have to have a really, really good team. Okay, whether you're a doctor, an attorney, whatever, restaurant, you have to have a good team. So that's a critical component and you have to take care of your team, right? You have to take care of your customers. You know, it's a lot of work. It's a nonstop. There is no days off. We do have jobs open, Jamal. We do. Send us your resume. You can send your resume to careers@chihomeloans.com. Careers@chihomeloans.com. We're happy to take a look with our hiring manager to see, you know, what kind of opportunities are out there for you. So, but going back to the changing states and job transfers, if you have an offer letter from, let's say that you live in Texas, you have an offer letter to, you can work from home. If you're really good. If you're new in the industry, you have to work from the office. If you're new in the industry, you have to be trained, and it usually takes a long time to train you. But after you get seasoned, my seasoned people work from home. They don't need to come to the office because they're trained. Like they can come to the office if they want to hang out. But like once you know what you're doing, I mean, you don't really need to come to the office anymore. You know, you can just go work from your house. And a lot of people like working from home. I have no problem with that as long as you're good and you get the job done. I don't care. I don't care where you are if you get the job done. So anyway, good question. So, but let me go back to this question about buying a home in another state. So that can be done, but you have to have an offer letter from that employer, and it depends on the type of offer letter that it is. It should be some type of guaranteed compensation in the form of a salary. It should obviously be on the company's letterhead, specify the dates of employment. And as long as you're starting within 30 days, you can generally use that income to qualify for the loan, and usually close on the house prior to starting there or having one pay stub. Okay, that's if you're on a salary. Okay, if you're on an hourly pay, you might have to work there for 1 to 2 pay cycles before you can close on the loan. Okay. It depends on if it's a revocable or irrevocable contract with your employer. No, that's going to be hard if the start date is to be determined. That's going to be difficult because that makes it more sketchy, you know? You see, those contracts, what they're looking for is, irrevocable, ironclad contract stating you're going to get this much pay, you're starting at this date, and that's how you close prior to starting there. If it's to be determined, we can still use it, but you might have to go work there first. No ginger ale? No, today I like cherry. I like cherry Coke Zero. So this is cherry Coke Zero. It's one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys ever had this before. This is one of my favorite drinks is cherry Coke Zero. So I want to buy a home, then move into it, then start the job. Well, you'd have to probably start the job first and then buy the home, because you might have a problem with the loan underwriting if you don't have a job, and then you try to buy the house. You see, normally we got to make sure you have the income to qualify. Unless you're doing a no documentation loan, you have to have the income to qualify for the loan, have the job, and then buy the house. Okay? So, hey Ed, how's it going? Yeah, with a job offer, well, that's fine. You know, so, but you have to have like I said, a good offer letter. Anyway, moving along. So the other thing I want to talk about was cash money. So when you're buying real estate, commercial or residential, one of the big no-nos in the industry is using cash money to buy your real estate. I was talking to a customer today. He said that he's buying a house, putting $100,000 down, and he said, "Look, Angelo, I got $50,000 in cash in my house. Could I use that for the closing?" And I said, "Absolutely not. They won't let you use it. Okay, you can't just, arbitrarily say I declare I have $50,000 cash and buy my house. They won't allow that. So cash money is not allowed when you're trying to buy real estate." Now, what I said, hey, listen, you need to deposit that money into your bank account and let that money season in your account for at least 30 days, ideally 60 days, so you don't run into any issues in underwriting. Because what you don't want to have happen, yes, we can talk about the jumbo loan with the HELOC. We'd love to help you with that. Give us a call. Please, we'd love to help you. We specialize in the jumbo loan with the HELOC. Call or text us at 832-431-633, and we'd love to help you out with that. But biggest thing is you can't use cash money when buying real estate. You got to take that cash money wherever it's coming from, put that into a bank account, and let that season, all right, for at least 30 days, ideally 60 days, so you don't run into any issues in underwriting. You don't want to have your loan get denied, okay? So how long? 30 days minimum does the cash money have to season, okay? Don't forget that. So the other thing I want to go over with you guys is closing costs, because I hear this all the time. The Fed will come after you if you deposit more than $10K or purchase with cash. I was looking at homes in Prosper, Texas last year around $350. Now they're $450. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, prices of real estate have skyrocketed. I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that they've come back down a little bit, and some of the inventories have kind of built up slightly. Prices have cooled slightly because you're going into the holidays, but still, it's hotter than heck. The market's insane. I agree with you. Very, very hot market. Yeah, you got to be careful how you deposit money. I agree, Angelo. I'm just telling you, when you're getting a loan, some of the stuff you need to be mindful of. And that's going into loans and closing costs. A lot of people, they hit me up because they're very concerned when they're getting a loan to buy a house. Could be. You know, I don't know. I really don't know about that. There's a lot of chatter about a bubble and all this stuff. I really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I mean, my personal, well, I'll say this, I have my own opinion is that I think that there could be somewhat of a pullback or correction. I don't think there's going to be a recession or depression, you know, but I think there could be a pullback on real estate prices, you know, because they are very frothy right now. And usually when things are very frothy, you know, they kind of tend to kind of revert back to the mean. So we'll see what happens, you know. You know, I don't know for sure. They could keep going higher too for the next few years. Who knows, right? So, you know, what I would say is if you need to get a home, interest rates are very low right now. It's a great time. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a lender. I'm just saying because it is a good time, but you have to see what's the right time for you. If you're just waiting for prices to correct, I mean, you don't know when that could happen. That could be 10 years from now. So we don't know for sure. So anyway, going back to closing costs. So a big thing that's, you know, when you're buying a house, you have closing costs, you have down payment, you have reserves, 3 things. And a lot of times people are not aware of this and they get, you know, sticker shock because they got to put the down payment, they got to pay closing costs, and then normally they have to have reserves on top of that. And like, wow, that's crazy. How do I do all that? How do I pay for closing costs? How do I have reserves? How do I have the funds for down payment? And they say, well, can I just take a loan out? Can I just take a loan out for my closing costs? And so I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people, they're not aware you actually cannot take out a loan for your closing costs. It's a no-no. You're not allowed to do that, okay? So you can't take a loan out for your down payment. You can't take a loan out for your closing costs. Because what happens is the funds that you're using for your closing cannot be borrowed. It cannot be a loan. It's not allowed. That's prohibited. Okay? Now, the thing is that in that same vein, you know, underwriters just source and season 2 months of bank statements. Okay? So, you know, they're only looking back 2 months. Right? So if you're going through the loan process, you cannot be going to get loans for closing costs and down payment. That's a big no-no. That's a red flag. You can't do that, and it'll cause a big problem. You won't be able to use those funds for closing on your house. It's a big no-no. You're not allowed to do it. So listen to what Angelo's saying right here. You cannot take out a loan to purchase. I have worked at my job since 2014. Was laid off because of COVID for 14 months. I'm back to work. Possibly, Steve. That's a good question. With USDA, they're very strict with employment. You probably have to be back to work. And I'm sorry, I think I missed some of your message, but you're going to have to be back to work for at least 6 months before the USDA will consider you for a loan. The USDA is a great product, and we're a big advocate of the USDA, but they want you to be, this is what's stopping me, not everybody has 20K in their account. Well, I understand, but so there's a few things. Steve, you got to be back to work for at least 6 months for the USDA. That's their requirement, so just keep that in mind. Everyone understands about the COVID thing, and you can have grace and leniency from that, from the layoff. But you're going to have to be back to work for at least 6 months, okay? Angela, you can borrow the money, you can get a gift, sell assets, you can be very creative. All I'm trying to tell you is during the loan process, don't go and get a loan for your closing. It's a big no-no, okay? I mean, you can save the money, sell stuff, whatever, get a gift from your employer, get a gift from your family, somehow come up with the funds. The underwriter, the biggest thing is in the 2 months prior to your loan application, that you can't be taking any loans out, rob a bank. You can't be taking on any loans to buy a house. It's just not allowed, okay? You could, but you won't be able to use those funds for closing. You might go take a loan out while you're going through the loan process, but you're not going to be able to use those funds. How much do I need to buy a first-time buyer in another state? No, you can't use a credit card either. So, credit card, can you use a credit card to buy a house? No, they don't allow that. So, unfortunately, they don't. So, how much do you need depends on the type of loan that we're doing. So, non-QM starts with 10% down. FHA starts with 3.5% down. Conventional starts with 3% down. USDA 0 down. VA 0 down. So, it depends on the type of loan that we're doing. Will determine how much your out-of-pocket expenses are going to be. Closing costs are ranging anywhere from 2% to 6%. Anywhere in between there is how much your closing costs are going to be. That's okay if you work in another state, but it depends on the type of work that you're in. Okay, I think are you the truck driver? I don't remember the type of work that you did. But that leads me to go into the other thing I want to discuss tonight is self-employed loans, because we specialize in self-employed loans. We're one of the top lenders in the country. Uber. Okay, yeah. So no, you could go to another state. Now, are you gonna go to the other state and be an Uber driver? So you're an Uber driver in one state. You're gonna go to a new state and be an Uber driver. That's okay. You can do that. But what you can't do is be an Uber driver in one state and then go and be a new job if it's self-employed in a new state. That would be a problem. You could go to a new state and be a W-2 employee, but not start a new self-employed job. It'd have to be the same self-employed work if you go to a new state. Okay? If that makes sense. So I hope that answers your question. So, so we specialize in a lot of self-employed loans, guys. A lot. We do 1099 loans. We do bank statement loans. We do 1-year tax return loans. Hi, Angelo. Will you please provide your email to send your resume to join your team? LO. Yes. Resume is careers@chihomeloans.com. Or you can send it to Angelo, ANGELO, @chihomeloans.com. Either one is fine. Careers@chihomeloans.com or Angelo @chihomeloans.com. Please send your resume there for consideration. So, but yes, going back to the self-employed, we have a ton of self-employed loan products. No documentation, bank statement program, 1099 program, okay, 1-year tax return. So the bank statement program is really cool because you can buy a house with no tax returns, no W-2s, no pay stubs, just show your last 12 months of bank statements. You can use personal or business bank statements. Very, very good loan program. Highly recommend. Now, some people, like Uber drivers, they can show bank statements, but they also get a 1099 from Uber. That 1099 we can use with no tax returns. Just show me a copy of your 1099 and you can qualify to buy your house. Okay? So show me your 1099 and you're able to buy your home. The other option you can do is just 1 year of tax returns. So let's say that 2020 was a great year for you, but 2019 sucked. Well, most lenders, they average out the last 2 years, and that might affect you from qualification. So we can just take 1 year of your taxes to approve you for the loan. So wonderful loan program to help you to get you approved if you're self-employed. So we'd love to help you guys if you're self-employed. That's why we're here. So anyway, very good questions tonight. I really appreciate all of you guys watching the show, watching the channel. That's why we're here, to be your hub for financial resources, to educate you, to empower you, to give you the funding, the capital, to accomplish your dreams and your goals, to take your life to the next level. That's what we're here to do. So we always value you guys. You mean a lot to us. That's why we do this Talk with Angelo show, to help to transition your life so you can be better and have a better life. So anyway, I know everyone's busy. They got to go. There's things they got to do. Remember, every Thursday night we give away the free $100 Amazon gift card. We're continuing to give away prizes, big screen TVs, refrigerators, money, gift cards, whatever. It's just an extra perk to help everyone out. The real essence of the company and the show is to transform lives, educate you guys, empower you. So with that said, we can move into the $100 Amazon gift card. I think this is a great time to do it. So remember, whoever answers the question first and correct, you text me your email. Text me your email to the 832-431-6331, and we'll send you the gift card. For just have to, whoever wins, we email you a free Amazon gift card. It's really cool. So you use it however you want. There's some people that watch this that they've stacked up some good money. Life is about the next level of triumph. I agree, Don. You always want to try and align yourself with great people and take your life to the next level. I agree 1,000%. I couldn't have said it better, man. So anyway, you're right. The key. That's correct. I agree completely, Don. I really appreciate you guys for watching the show and the channel. So now I want to go and ask the question. You're nominating me? Oh, thank you. That means a lot. So I wish I had the power and the ability to do it. That means a lot to me. Thank you very much. So, we work really hard. We try very hard to help people and transform lives. I'm sure just like you do too. So anyway, U.S. Department of Commerce and HUD too, the White House. Yeah, that's good. So now, Office of Innovation. I like that. That's a good. I haven't heard of the Office of Innovation. I'm gonna have to look that up. So anyway, I want to ask this question, and whoever answers it first and correctly will win. No, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, I'll look it up, Don. I wasn't aware of the Office of Innovation. I'm gonna have to check that out. So, but what? So, but what is it that you're saying though? I think I missed, Don, what you were asking, or what you were stating. The revolution is not going to be televised. Huh. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about what you're thinking about. It sounds like interesting stuff. You're talking about some big stuff right now, Don. So, sounds very interesting. So, anyway, let's get on with the Amazon gift card for the winners, for everybody. So, the lightning round bonus question. want to ask you guys. So, going back to seasoning, right? So, going back to seasoning for your bank account. So, how long do the funds have to be seasoned in your bank account before you can use those funds? Now, what did I say? You got it. Okay. So, yeah, there you go. Who answered it first? Mary France? I think Mary France answered it first. Was it Mary France or Ishmael that answered it first? In 90 days? No Ishmael? So Mary France, did you answer that first? Ed, 30 days is better. Incremental 12 days drops. I did. Okay, good job. You got it, Mary France. So text me your email address. Yeah, Angelo, 2 months. You can get away with a 30-day seasoning. 2 months is definitely better, but you could get away with 30 days. So 2 months is better, but you can technically get away with a 30-day seasoning in your bank account. So Mary France, text me your email address. We'll hook you up and get you that gift card. Really appreciate all you guys watching the show and the channel. Thank you so much for watching Angelo Christian. That's why we're here. It's where America goes for funding. So we really appreciate all of you guys for reaching out to watch the show on the channel. So thank you guys so much. Take care and peace out. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.